Hi, I just wanted to take a quick minute and talk about something that might be on your mind. It's how to help your kids or your grandkids while still protecting yourself. And the idea is that, this time of year, people are thinking about family. They may be planning to, share a table with their loved ones. And, looking around, you might find that the ones you love have been kind of knocked around by the pandemic and then the economy. Many are really struggling this year. And you might wonder if they can't buy a house now, how are they going to buy in the future when prices are likely to be higher? I mean, we know prices go up and down, but over time, houses appreciate and prices usually go up. So some of these folks might be struggling with loan debt. Some of them have had to put groceries and maybe gas on their credit cards. They may be dealing with rent increases. They're likely to be dealing with rent increases year after year after year, sometimes significant. And they may be contemplating having to move in with a loved one. So if you're looking at your legacy plans and realizing that you may be best able to help them by helping them now rather than in the future, there's a few things for you to consider, and that's how to help your kids and grandkids while still protecting yourself. So first thing I would say is, before drawing from your retirement, find out if they have a 401k to draw from. A lot of people just simply don't realize that they can draw from their 401k, either to borrow against it or draw against it. And yeah, there'll be penalties involved, but it'll help them buy their first home, and that's permissible by the employers. And if somebody's going to draw money from their 401k, it really ought to be them, because they've got more years to recover from that than you do. Also, be sure to talk to your tax advisor, your financial advisor, about how you can best help them in a way that makes the most sense for you. A gift is the most straightforward way to assist. The lender will need to document the transfer of funds. It has to be a close family member. And you don't want to move any money until you receive that guidance. You'll be asked to sign a letter stating that it's a gift and that no payment is required back. Cosigning is another way you can help. Cosigning adds financial strength to the transaction. It doesn't cover over bad credit. It adds financial strength because, in effect, what you're saying is that you're getting added onto the loan and you're agreeing to make the payment if they fall on hard times and they can't make the payment. So when you co-sign, keep in mind that can affect your ability to make your next purchase, whatever that will be, because it'll affect your debt to income ratios. If, on the other hand, you'd rather not tie up your credit and you'd rather not provide a gift, you might consider lending them some money. Now, if you do a straightforward traditional loan where they're going to make monthly payments, that loan has to be disclosed to the lender. They're going to calculate those payments in the debt to income ratio. It might not be as much help as you think. But a different type of loan is what we call a silent second, and that gets recorded on the transaction. That's the case where you want to loan them some money, but you don't necessarily need monthly payments. So that lien gets recorded against the property with the county along with the mortgage docs, and then that property cannot be refinanced or sold unless and until you're paid back. So you'd actually receive the check or the wire directly from the title company at close, and you're insured of that payment. Maybe you're looking to right-size your home, and maybe you're considering to sell your property to them. There's lots of options there. This can be accomplished with a regular traditional sale at whatever price you're negotiating. Or you could even give them what's called a gift of equity, which is basically they're kind of getting a larger loan, and you're giving them a gift of your equity so that the closing costs can be rolled into the loan. It's kind of complicated. I can help you understand, but it's a possibility to give them a gift of equity to help with the closing costs. You might even do what's called a lease option to buy, and basically that's where they're renting the house from you, but they have a formal contract. They're making the mortgage payment for you, and That way it gives them more time until they're, better able to qualify for the loan. Assumptions, if your lender will allow it, is another great option. That's basically where they take over payments on the loan. And you can determine if your lender will allow assumptions by looking at the very last line on your closing disclosure when you close the loan, or you can just call the lender and ask if they allow for assumptions. If it's a VA loan, just be aware that VA eligibility is still tied up until they sell or refinance or pay off the loan. So if you need that VA eligibility back, just be aware of that. So if you've listened this far, you understand now that there's a lot of different options, and I'm familiar with these. I can walk you through these and talk about what's best to not only support your goal of assisting your family member, but also making sure that you're in the best position to protect yourself. I'm going to leave you with one final thought. If you really want to help them, share your wisdom. There are generational differences that it's just different these days. It's likely that they've never balanced a checkbook. It's likely that they've never written out a budget. Teach them to budget, teach them to save, teach them that hardworking ethic that's taken you so far. My favorite wedding present that I got was just a little notebook that a friend of the family gave us. And basically it just kind of laid out how to write up a budget. You got your income, you got your expenses, the rest goes to debt with the goal of getting rid of the debt. That was something that was so simple, and I just didn't know better until somebody taught me. So I'm Shiloh.Ferreira, I'm with Thrive Mortgage, and it's always my goal to help you help your family, but it's even more of my goal to make sure that you protect yourself, and I'd be delighted to chat over your options with you and with them, and please give me a call.